15 royal insiders who stole things from the British royal family. When we think of the British royal family, images of grandeur, wealth, and privilege often come to mind. With their vast collection of priceless art, jewels, and historical artifacts, one might assume these treasures are under the tightest security. However, even those closest to the monarchy haven't been immune to the temptation of taking what doesn't belong to them. From domestic staff to trusted advisors, a surprising number of royal insiders have been caught red-handed, pilfering valuables from the very people they were meant to serve. In this video, we'll uncover some of the shocking stories of 15 individuals who betrayed the trust of the royal household, snatching everything from precious gems to irreplaceable antiques. Number 1. Paul Burrell. Burl, who had served Diana loyally for years, found himself embroiled in a high-profile legal battle in 2002 when he was charged with stealing hundreds of personal items belonging to Diana, King Charles, and Prince William. The allegations were particularly serious as Burl had been entrusted with the innermost workings of the Wales family, privy to their most intimate moments and personal possessions. The charges suggested a profound breach of trust, as Burl stood accused of misappropriating items of immense sentimental and historical value, including Diana's personal effects and mementos. However, the case took an unexpected turn when the late Queen Elizabeth intervened, confirming that Burl had informed her of his intention to safeguard Diana's possessions after her tragic death in 1997. With the Queen's testimony, the charges against Burl were ultimately dropped, though questions lingered about the appropriateness of his actions and the extent of the items he had retained. Burl's case highlighted the delicate balance between loyalty and propriety within the royal household, as well as the complexity surrounding the ownership and preservation of personal effects after a member of the royal family's passing. Number 2. Harold Brown. Brown faced accusations related to the theft of 2 diamond tiaras and other valuable jewelry items from the princess's personal collection, a transgression that struck at the heart of the trust bestowed upon him. The alleged theft of such precious and sentimental items not only represented a financial loss, but also a profound violation of Princess Margaret's privacy and personal domain. These tiaras and jewels held immense symbolic and emotional value, often passed down through generations of the royal family as cherished heirlooms. The legal complexity surrounding the case stemmed from an intricate issue of ownership and provenance, as the monarchy's possessions are often intricately intertwined with the institution itself, complicating matters of personal property and inheritance. The allegations against Brown raised questions about the custodianship of such invaluable items and the mechanisms in place to safeguard them from potential misappropriation or theft. While the specifics of the case remain somewhat murky, the mere suggestion of such a breach of trust from a senior royal staff member was deeply concerning, particularly given the sentimental and monetary value of the items involved. It underscored the need for robust security measures and rigorous background checks for those granted access to the personal quarters and possessions of the royal family. Number 3. Simon Dalton. In the late 1990s, Simon Dalton, a footman at Buckingham Palace, was reportedly caught in the act of stealing from the royal residence. Dalton's alleged misdeeds included the theft of valuable items and alcohol from the palace's vast stores. As a member of the household staff, Dalton would have access to various areas of the palace, making his alleged actions a significant breach of protocol and trust. The case highlighted the need for stringent security measures and background checks for those granted access to the royal household, as even seemingly minor staff members could potentially exploit their positions for personal gain. Number 4. Adrien Cunningham. The case of Adrien Cunningham, a former royal valet, sent shockwaves through the royal household. Cunningham, who had been entrusted with intimate access to the personal quarters and possessions of members of the royal family, was ultimately jailed for stealing a large number of items from Buckingham Palace, which he then sold for personal profit. As a valet, Cunningham would have been privy to the private lives and personal spaces of the royals he served, making his betrayal of trust all the more egregious. The theft of personal effects and possessions from the royal family not only constituted a financial loss, but also a profound violation of their privacy and personal domain. Cunningham's actions raise serious concerns about the potential dissemination of these stolen items, as well as the potential for sensitive information or personal details to be compromised or exploited. The case underscored the vulnerability of the royal household to insider threats and the need for stringent vetting processes and ongoing monitoring of staff members, even those in trusted positions. Number 5. Ronald Harper. Harper was convicted in 2016 for accepting bribes in exchange for awarding contracts, a form of financial theft that undermined the integrity of the institution he served. While not directly stealing physical items, Harper's actions constituted a form of embezzlement and a betrayal of the trust placed in him to manage the royal household's affairs with transparency and accountability. By accepting bribes, Harper exploited his position for personal gain, potentially compromising the quality and value of the contracted services provided to the monarchy. Harper's case highlighted the need for robust oversight mechanisms and stringent auditing processes within the royal establishment to detect and prevent such corrupt practices. It also underscored the importance of fostering a culture of ethical conduct and accountability among those entrusted with managing the financial and operational aspects of the royal household. Number 6. Adamo Canto. Adamo Canto's case is a more recent example of a royal insider betraying the trust placed in him. In 2020, Kanto, who worked at Buckingham Palace, pleaded guilty to stealing items from the royal residence and selling them on eBay. Among the stolen goods were signed photographs of members of the royal family, including the late Queen Elizabeth and other senior royals. Kanto's actions not only constituted a breach of trust, but also raised concerns about the potential dissemination of personal and sensitive items related to the monarchy. The sale of such items on a public platform like eBay highlighted the vulnerability of the royal family's privacy and the need for stringent measures to safeguard their personal belongings and memorabilia. Kanto's case also underscored the challenge of vetting and monitoring staff members who have access to the royal residences and the personal effects of the monarchy. It served as a reminder that even seemingly innocuous items in the wrong hands could compromise the privacy and security of the royal family. Number 7. Stephen Wright. Stephen Wright, a former Buckingham Palace guard, was found guilty of stealing medals and photographs from the royal residence. As a member of the security team tasked with safeguarding the palace and its contents, Wright's actions represented a significant betrayal of his duties and the trust placed in him by the royal household. The theft of medals, in particular, carried significant symbolic weight, and these honors are bestowed upon individuals for distinguished service and valor. Wright's actions not only deprived the royal family of their rightful possessions, but also tarnished the integrity and reputation of the palace guards, who were expected to uphold the highest standards of professionalism and loyalty. Number 8. The Eugene de Rothschild. The Eugene de Rothschild scandal in the 1970s shed light on the complex issues surrounding the provenance and ownership of royal art and artifacts. De Rothschild, a prominent figure in the art world, was implicated in the sale of allegedly stolen royal paintings, raising questions about the legitimacy of their acquisition and the potential involvement of royal insiders in facilitating such transactions. This case highlighted the challenges of protecting and preserving the royal family's extensive art collection, which spans centuries and includes priceless works of historical and cultural significance. It also underscored the need for robust documentation and authentication processes to establish the rightful ownership of these pieces and prevent the sale or dissemination of items obtained through illicit means. Number 9. Jennifer Gordon. Jennifer Gordon, a cleaner at Buckingham Palace, found herself embroiled in a theft case involving royal memorabilia. While the details of her involvement and the nature of the stolen items remain somewhat unclear, the mere fact that a member of the housekeeping staff was implicated in such activities raised concerns about the potential vulnerabilities within the royal household. Gordon's case served as a reminder that even individuals in seemingly minor roles could potentially exploit their access to the royal residences for personal gain. It highlighted the importance of thorough background checks, strict access controls, and rigorous monitoring systems to prevent such incidents from occurring. particularly in areas where valuable or sensitive items are stored or displayed. Number 10. Christopher Exley. Christopher Exley, a palace police officer, was convicted of stealing wine from the royal cellars in the late 1990s. As a member of the law enforcement team responsible for safeguarding the palace and its contents, Exley's actions represented a significant breach of trust and a violation of the very principles he was sworn to uphold. The theft of wine from the royal cellars not only deprived the monarchy of valuable assets, but also raised concerns about the potential for other misdeeds or compromises within the palace security apparatus. Exley's case underscored the need for robust internal controls, regular audits, and stringent accountability measures to ensure that those entrusted with protecting the royal family and their possessions adhere to the highest ethical standards. Number 11. Benjamin Atkinson. Benjamin Atkinson's case was particularly alarming due to the nature of the items he attempted to steal and the potential security implications. As a former Grenadier Guard, Atkinson had been entrusted with the protection of Windsor Castle, one of the official residences of the late Queen Elizabeth and other members of the royal family. In 2015, Atkinson was caught attempting to sell stolen ammunition and other items from Windsor Castle on the dark web, a hidden section of the internet often associated with illegal activities. The theft of ammunition from a royal residence raised serious concerns about potential threats to the safety and security of the royal family and highlighted the need for stringent inventory management and background checks for those granted access to sensitive areas. Atkinson's case also shed light on the evolving nature of security threats in the digital age, as the dark web provided a platform for the potential dissemination of stolen goods from the royal household. It underscored the importance of robust cybersecurity measures and the monitoring of online activities to prevent the illicit sale or distribution of sensitive items related to the monarchy. Number 12. Michael Trestrail. While Michael Trestrail's resignation as the late Queen Elizabeth's bodyguard was not directly related to theft, his case serves as a poignant reminder of the trust placed in those tasked with protecting the royal family. As a close protection officer, Trestrail would have unparalleled access to the Queen's personal life and movements, privy to sensitive information and details about her security arrangements. Trestrail's resignation stemmed from personal conduct issues, but the mere fact that such a breach of trust occurred within the Queen's inner security circle raised concerns about the potential vulnerabilities and the need for stringent vetting processes. The role of a royal bodyguard demands the highest levels of professionalism, discretion, and loyalty, as any lapse could potentially compromise the safety and privacy of the monarch. Number 13. David Croucher. David Croucher's case dates back to 1985, when he was convicted for stealing a painting, among other items, from Windsor Castle. A trusted member of the royal household staff, Croucher's actions represented a significant betrayal of the confidence placed in him. The theft of artwork from the royal collection not only deprived the monarchy of valuable cultural assets, but also raised concerns about the potential dissemination of these pieces into the black market on private collections, where their provenance and historical significance could be obscured or exploited for personal gain. Croucher's case highlighted the need for robust security measures and inventory management systems to safeguard the royal family's extensive art collection, which includes priceless works of historical and cultural significance. It also underscored the importance of thorough background checks and ongoing monitoring of staff members to mitigate the risk of insider threats. Number 14. Jonathan Spencer. Jonathan Spencer's case in the 1980s involved allegations of stealing valuable artifacts intended for the royal family, though the details and outcomes of these accusations are less well documented. Regardless of the specifics, the mere suggestion of such activities by a royal insider raised concerns about the potential vulnerability of the monarchy's extensive collections and the need for robust security protocols. The theft or misappropriation of artifacts intended for the royal family not only deprived them of valuable possessions, but also potentially compromised the integrity and historical significance of these items. Such incidents could lead to the loss of important cultural heritage and, in some cases, items of significant personal sentimental value to the monarchy. Number 15. Jane Andrews. While Jane Andrews' case did not involve direct theft from the royal family, her conviction for the murder of her boyfriend while serving as a dresser to Sarah, Duchess of York, highlighted the profound breach of trust that occurred within the royal household. As a personal attendant to the Duchess, Andrews would have had intimate access to her private quarters and personal belongings, privy to sensitive information and details about the Duchess's life. The trust placed in such a role is paramount, as it involves close proximity to a member of the royal family and exposure to their most personal spaces and possessions. Andrews' actions not only shattered that trust, but also raised concerns about the potential vulnerabilities within the royal household and the need for stringent background checks and ongoing monitoring of staff members, particularly those in positions of close personal access to the royal family. Her case serves as a sobering reminder of the importance of maintaining the highest standards of professionalism, integrity, and loyalty among those entrusted with serving the monarchy, as any breach could have far-reaching consequences for the safety, privacy, and well-being of the royal family. Well, there you have it. 15 shocking cases of royal insiders who betrayed the trust of the British monarchy by stealing priceless treasures right from under their noses. From kleptomaniac butlers to greedy advisors, these audacious thieves stopped at nothing to get their hands on the crown's most prized possessions. Whether motivated by greed, a desire for notoriety, or simply a lack of moral fiber, their actions have left an indelible stain on the reputations of those who repeatedly failed to secure the royal family's valuables properly. So now it's your turn. Which of these royal heists did you find most appalling? Were you particularly shocked by any of the items stolen or the people involved? I'd love to hear your thoughts and reactions in the comments below. And while you're at it, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I've got plenty more unbelievable stories about the scandalous underbelly of royal life that you won't want to miss. Thanks for watching, and until next time, bye!